So I'm sure you've heard of a speed bag, a kick or boxing bag, and these are great tools, and they're tools that have been used for a long, long time. Now they all serve a certain purpose. So for example, a speed bag. Well, you hear what it denotes in the name, a speed bag. But we know when we're fighting, we're not punching somebody like this. And it makes sense, and it's been in the boxing world for a zillion years. Holding mitts for somebody, you've seen fancy work of people doing mitt work coming up from behind the side. And we know that a person's head is not here all of a sudden, then here all of a sudden, then here all of a sudden, but it's a tool to help you and train, okay, for this accuracy, speed, position, and so on. Punching bag. Well, we know that the person that we're fighting, although we would love to have it like that, but we know the person that we'll be fighting, it's not gonna stay there like a cylindrical bag of sand where you could just wail and hit to your heart's content. The person's gonna be hitting back. So if I didn't belabor the point well enough, the whole point is that these are all tools. These are tools that will help you refine you as a fighter. So when I hear people talk about the wooden dummy and they just don't understand it, they don't see where it works or where it fits in mixed martial arts, that's just ignorance. And it's okay to be ignorant, because after this video, or even while I'm speaking to you, ignorance should leave, because ignorance just means you didn't know. Well, now you know. So what the wooden dummy does is it helps you in the best possible way, from head to toe, get all of the things that you would be doing in an actual fight if you're practicing by yourself. Now there's a whole form to this, okay, where you have to use the right characters and so on and so forth. But for the sake of this example, or sake of this video, I just wanted to make extra emphasis and let you know that this is a tool. So what does it work? So number one, when I hit this, for example, when I hit this, there's complete conditioning right off the bat. So when I'm doing this whole form over and over and over, day in, day out, it's conditioning. So conditioning is something right off the bat that you get from this. You see these two arms here. Now it's funny because while this is on one side and this is on one side, you'll notice that they both go out. So they actually sometimes represent a transposed arm. So what I mean by that is this one might actually be a number one in boxing. So I'm coming and I'm pocking, this is called a pak sao, from the outside of the hand. And I might go on this side and I'm coming from the outside of the hand. So these represent arms. This bottom one down here can represent a knee coming up, or it can represent a punch coming to your lower torso. And this is where, again, you would use something called a gum sao or a gung sao, or even come in here and do a hun sao. But basically this represents the lower extremity of your top torso. And then you have entries, okay, and sticking. Now this is important because when you're fighting long to mid to in the pocket type range fighting, you're gonna get the full spectrum on the wooden dummy. Now I'm not gonna go through doing all of the sets that it takes here. Those will be in subsequent videos, but just know that every character means and relates to something. And so this is a multi-functional, multi-purpose tool. So you can kind of think of it as a Swiss Army of the tools. You can also put pads here. So if you really wanted to punch this thing without hurting yourself, you can do that, which would emulate the boxing bag, for example. And as far as speed is controlled, and this is what I love about this with position, because this is where real fighting comes in. You notice there's a leg down here. All right, now this leg is wood, meaning I'm not going to go through this, okay? So this forces me, as a practitioner learning this, to move around the leg, and I can learn how to sweep with this. I can learn how to get into a new position to come close for these type of shots. So as you can see, and these are just a few things, the wooden dummy, when seen as a tool, just like all of the previous things that I mentioned, now completely removes this, feeling of, whoa, what is this? What kind of wood is this? What does it provide? What kind of value does it provide? Well, now you know, and we can remove, at least for today, ignorance as to what this is for, how it's actually used, and what's the purpose in your growth. So as a martial artist, it's up to you to get all of the tools that are at your disposal to make you a better fighter. So I hope this lesson today, or this video, gave you some understanding and opened your mind into something a little bit different than maybe you're used to. I would say when someone looks at another person and doesn't know that person, and you're kind of a little biased towards this person and that person, well, this will remove that biasness towards that whatever particular art or martial art that you do. And you don't have to change the art. You just have to understand and respect that there are other arts with other tools that can be used to make you a better fighter. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you guys know the whole drill. You got my DM, you got my email, you got my text, you have my number in there. Reach out to me if you have any questions, all right? Peace.